So we are live. We are live for the Monday stream. We are live for the Monday stream right now. And if you guys are watching this after the stream, appreciate it. Thank you guys. And obviously, if you want to watch individual things, they're going to be broken down into videos throughout the day. So just going to wait a little bit before we talk about anything too crazy while we're waiting for some people to get into the stream right now. Waiting for like notifications to go out and stuff, because there are a couple of topics that I very much do want to talk about here. And when it comes to preseason, and so what my plan on talking about is I'm going to talk a little bit about the Valkyries and why they're one of the most interesting teams in the WNBA, because they're not like unbelievable, but they're not bad. They're not bad and they have depth. I'll be talking a little bit about the whole Caitlin Clark push-off thing. We're going to be talking about Dorka Juhász not being there for the Minnesota Lynx. And just a couple of more things. I definitely have a list of videos. Oh yeah, the freaking Dominique Malonga highlights, Kennedy Carter doing Kennedy Carter things. Like it was an interesting day yesterday, and I was just extremely busy, so I couldn't get that many videos out. But yeah, so we've got 10 viewers in here. If somebody could type in the chat, that'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. If somebody could type in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. Just so I make sure it is working. But, yeah, obviously these streams do take a couple of minutes. A couple of minutes to get going before. Thank you. Perfect. There we go. So, the first thing we're going to be talking. So, the Caitlin Clark push-off situation is something that we have to talk about. Because everyone is going mad about it. Everyone's furious about that is not a Fever fan. And we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the realities of this. How bad of a situation it is. And how bad of a look it is, or will referees start calling it? We're going to have to look at all that. We're going to have to go and look at all that. And for me, I don't think the referees can call the push-off. I don't think they can, because the vast majority of the time, the push-off is in retaliation to the hand check. And not even hand check. Like, I'm not joking. Literally just grabbing her jersey. Like, people a lot of time have two hands on Caitlin Clark's jersey while guarding her. Like, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you cannot, if you are going to let somebody guard like this, you have to allow them to push a hand off. You have to let them to swipe through the hands. You have to let them to do something. You do. Like, you have to allow freedom of movement from the offensive player. And if you're not going to allow freedom of movement, you then have to allow the offensive player to do something. Because what we can't have is, what we can't have is that being a legal way of guarding Caitlin Clark. Because do people not think that if suddenly Caitlin Clark is called for those push-offs, if Caitlin Clark gets called for those push-offs, it means everyone, not just guarding Caitlin, you will guard Arike, you will guard Sabrina, you will guard Caitlin by having two hands on their jersey. Like, it's not even a push. It was literally pow, two hands on her jersey. So it's like, if you're going to ignore, like, players defending, like, American football defenders, trying not to let people go by them, you have to then allow the offensive players leeway. As if you're going to allow defensive players to just completely take over the game, or just completely like assert themselves physically in the offensive players, you have to allow it both ways. Because if you don't allow it both ways, it gives one or the other a huge advantage. If, for example, if every single time Caitlin Clark got touched, it was a foul, and then Caitlin was still allowed push-off, then cool. But like we saw Dejanay Carrington last year. Every time, or not even every time, I'd say, no, she did get a couple of clean steals. But there were a couple of times where Caitlin Clark crossed the ball over, and she literally had her left hand Because she pushed Caitlin with her left hand and then swiped the ball with her right hand. She would foul Caitlin with one hand and tip the ball with the other hand. The refs were like, clean. All clean. And I'm like, no. And it's like, oh, it's a push off and she gets free. It's like, the defensive players are being allowed to completely physically assert themselves on the offensive players in this league. The offensive players have to be allowed to do it back. They have to be allowed to do it back. Straight up. They have to be allowed to do it back. Because of the way she's being guarded. And she is being hacked. She's being fouled 94 feet. It's like in last year's playoffs when Lou Dort wasn't even trying to play basketball with Luka Doncic. Lou Dort was not even trying to play basketball. And Luka, they were like, oh, Luka's fouling Lou Dort offensively. And it's like, when you are hacking somebody, unless they do something crazy, you can't call an offensive foul. You cannot call an offensive foul, realistically. And for me, you have to call it even both ways. And I think Caitlin Clark is being let, like, whatever about the push-offs, she is being allowed hack. And in my opinion, if the refs called the game properly, she wouldn't need to push off. She wouldn't need to push off. She draws the gravity. She wouldn't need to push off. But the Caitlin Clark haters things are so funny. It's like, oh, the only reason Caitlin Clark shoots from 30 feet is because she knows if she tried to shoot from anywhere closer, she'd be found out for a lack of skill. And I'm like, are you okay? Oh, are you okay in the head? And I saw this conversation going on. People were like, being like, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, you just said she chooses to shoot from 30 feet because of a lack of skill. And teams guard her 3/4 court. She's the only player in the league that gets picked up 3/4 court by everybody. And people are saying it's because of a lack of skill she gets picked up 3/4 court. Absolute madness. Absolute madness. But it's just a crazy situation. And like we all saw, Caitlin did not shoot a free throw. Caitlin got fouled one time against Brazil. And Brazil were hacking her. Like Brazil were literally just going and hacking Caitlin. Every time Caitlin did anything, they were just fouling her because they knew they couldn't do anything else, so they hacked her. And like the referees, Caitlin has been on the receiving end of one foul. I'd say she's probably committed 2 offensive fouls, but she has also been on the receiving end of about 8 or 9 defensive fouls over these 2 games. One whistle was blown. And I always stand by this. I think if you call the defensive fouls, you don't see the push-offs because it's very difficult to guard Caitlin Clark. And we saw it last year. How many times Alyssa Thomas just blitzed and didn't even go for the ball, just went through Caitlin. She went through Caitlin and got some of the ball, and it's like, all ball. And I'm like, you got 90% of the body first, and then you grab the ball. And I'm like, it's just mad. And then again, you watch Angel Wilson get someone looking at Angel Wilson the wrong way, and it's a foul. Like, any other player in the league goes hard to the basket and is knocked on their ass. Oh, no call. It's a physical league. Angel Wilson pulls up for a mid-range shot and just misses. Foul. Angel Wilson, no one's anywhere near her. She just flails. Foul. I'm like, that's the thing where it's like, it's the refereeing. It's the worst referee league in the world. Like, we saw it even the Aces against the Liberty last year. And how badly Liberty were getting screwed. Like, we saw a situation where Stewie had the ball. She got shoved. She took a dribble, got shoved again. She took another, they tipped it away. As she's trying to get the ball, got shoved, got the ball, and then got shoved out of bounds. And they didn't call a single foul. And I remember looking through a clip and I'm like, this was a game 4. They were trying to get to a game 5. And I'm like, there was literally 7 fouls in that play. Between shoves, hand checks, jersey being grabbed. It's like, she got fouled 7 times in that play. And lost the ball. And it's like the refs, I think I have a video saying it's like the refs couldn't even save the Las Vegas Aces. Because it's embarrassing how leniently they get refereed compared to everybody else. And then every other team in the WNBA has to get the weirdest whistle. And then with the Angel Reese one, it's hard to ref her because she just throws her body around. Like, there's a lot of times where Angel Reese literally will get hacked and they don't call it. But then there are times where she'll initiate the contact and get the foul. She's just hard to ref. Like, when a player just goes relentlessly through people, they can be really just hard to ref. So I'm not going to blame the refs for that one. I'm not going to say that she gets a good whistle. There's only one team that I will say gets a good whistle in the WNBA, and it's the Las Vegas Aces. Heck, the referees literally decided the finals last year. Do we not? We can't forget. The referees decided the damn finals last year. Like, it was literally called because Breanna Steward caught the ball and did this. So she's about here, catches the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Throws the ball ahead. And then shoots a pull-up midi. Alana Smith gets all ball. Foul. Like, and it's mad. There's a lot bigger problems with the referees than a player who gets hacked 94 feet most games pushing off. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. The refs go back and review their calls. That's cute. That's cute if you think the referees review their calls. Caitlin got teed up in preseason. She hasn't figured out the refs. She got teed up in preseason. But speaking of Caitlin Clark's preseason, it is hilarious. It is hilarious people saying that that Caitlin Clark was better a year ago than she is now. They were like, there's no improvement. Have you guys not seen her preseason stats last year? Like, the same people that are like, you know what, the Fever are a super team. The Fever are a super team, but Caitlin Clark's not that good. But also, Caitlin Clark has improved, has gotten no better since last year. But if Caitlin Clark doesn't win MVP, she's been a failure in her second year. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Like, everything is just mad. And do they have legal sports betting in Europe? They do, but I don't know. I don't think. I'm not accusing the refs of gambling. I do think the freaking finals was rigged from New York last year, but I don't accuse the refs of gambling. But look at her stats from a year ago. Look at her stats from a year ago. It is crazy. It's absolutely crazy because she is averaging in 10 less minutes per game, averaging more rebounds, 2 more assists, and only 2 less points. And you might be saying, oh, one was against the Brazilian national team. She played 18 minutes in that game. About 18 minutes. And she also had like on track for a per, or not even per 36, a per 30 triple-double in her second game. She was on track for a triple-double in 30 minutes on 50% from 3, 52% from the field. And it's not like she shot badly from 3 against, what was it, 3 of 7? 3 of 7, and then she shot like the half-court heave. The half-court heave, like there is an improvement there. There is an improvement there, and I just don't. There's a lot of things I just don't get. I just don't get why people just refuse to just look. People can't look at the sport objectively. Like, she's clearly way better than last year. And this is while playing at 75%. This is at about 75%. Like, she went and everyone's saying how slow she is. She went coast to coast on Ryan Howard. Like, Ryan Howard is considered to be one of the best wing defenders in the WNBA. And it doesn't even matter if it's preseason. Like, she's doing certain things that you're like, okay, yeah, she's fine. She's shooting from 30 feet. Her handle still looks fine. And I'm sorry. Like, there's how many guards in the WNBA can do this? Ryan Howard is super quick. And she just goes coast to coast, first possession, scores a Ryan Howard. Like, and this is her at 3/4 speed. If even 3/4 speed. And like, she doesn't even go meep meep and go by her. She just casually, as slowly as you can, maybe meep, meep, and still burned her. Still burned her. Maybe she just looks a bit slower because she's not sprinting around everywhere. And on the defensive end, To say Caitlin Clark is not a better defender, you have not been watching. She got cooked by Te-Hina Paopao. She absolutely got cooked by Te-Hina Paopao. And fair play. Te-Hina Paopao is good. Good, great move by Paopao. Every defender is going to get cooked by a player. Like, some of the best defenders in the WNBA got cooked by Caitlin Clark last year. How many elite defenders got cooked by Kennedy Carter last year? Everyone gets cooked. And I'm sorry, look at this. People are like, oh, Caitlin Clark has no handle. Has no handle. Like, you don't even need the handle. You can have a functional handle. It's just needed to get a bit of separation. So she has those behind the back moves. She can handle the ball, as in she can change direction on the move. She can change direction on the move. She can stop. She can start. You don't need a handle to do this, by the way. To dribble, and they overplay, stop, pull up, go. You don't need a handle. I don't give a damn how many times you can go tween. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? She has a functional handle. She can create separation. And do you want to know what the most more important thing is in being able to go tween? Footwork. Footwork means more. You can get by someone better with footwork than with a handle. There's a reason why Luka Doncic is able to get to the basket easier and better than Jamal Crawford. You see that? She's there, still able to cross over, able to step back, draw out the defender, while still being in enough control to throw that pass. It is a functional handle. That's all you need. That is all you need. You need to be able to handle the ball on the break. You need to be able to change direction. You need to be able to stop, start. Who gives a flying F-U-C-K if you go tween? Her college coach is able to bring her best out. Professional coaches can't figure it out. Yeah, she's also not playing as a team. Like, one of the best defenders, the best defender she came up against in college was Celeste Taylor. Like, we saw what she did to Celeste Taylor last year. There's levels. There's levels. Like, there is levels to this. But, yeah. Like, I don't get the whole, like, you can look, even if you're a box score watcher, even if you're not watching the games, you can look at the box score and see the improvements. You can see all of that stuff if you're just watching, even if you're just reading box scores based on last year. Her per 36 numbers. So let's see what are per 30. Per 30. Let's just round up to 20 minutes. Per 30 minutes per game, she's averaging what? 22 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds. Per 30 in preseason. 22, 9, and 9. And again, she put up probably better stats against Atlanta than she did against the Brazil team. And also, even you might be saying, oh, it's preseason, it doesn't matter. Those teams still literally both of those teams, their entire scouting report was Caitlin. Even in preseason. Like, we can be honest. Caitlin Clark's improvement is there. Has she instantly, like, turned into the best player in the world? Who knows? Who knows? Honestly, who knows? But, at the end of the day, like, there is 100% an improvement made. She is a much better on-ball defender. She is a much better strong side off-ball defender. Yes, she is still a bad weak side defender. Yes, she still tries some crazy passes. But we've seen the floater. We saw it like one leg fadeaway thingy she shot against Brazil. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's been an improvement made. And I think throughout the year, you're going to see more of that mid-range game. The only thing is like how many shots she's going to take. And look, we can't forget as well, there was a stage where Caitlin Clark was averaging 15 and 6 last year. And it threw a non-insignificant amount of the season. So, like, even if she just stays the same as last year and averages what? 19, 8.5, and like 6. And the thing is that you might be saying, oh, Caitlin Clark's not going to play as many minutes. Why? They don't have a backup. Last year they had Erica Wheeler. Like, Erica Wheeler is a far more competent backup than Sydney Colson as a basketball player. So I can't see her not playing 33, 34 minutes a game in a lot of games. Rebecca Lowe was saying 5 games into the year, she'd never seen so many doubles and traps on a rookie. Cece figured it out. She'll continue to get better. She's generational. I agree. Like, do we not remember through 10 games? Not even through 10 games. It was like through the season. Caitlin Clark was blitzed more than double the rest of the league combined. The rest of the league combined were blitzed less than half the times Caitlin Clark. Madness. Madness. But for the Minnesota Lynx, there is not an ideal scenario for the Minnesota Lynx. I was saying the Lynx they kind of had everything going for them. But the Minnesota Lynx have lost a key player this season. The only thing is, when it comes to Dorka Juhas, is that Jessica Shepard took a year out and has improved and is better than Dorka Juhas. Jessica Shepard is the perfect bench player. The perfect bench player to have. Like the top bench player. But Dorka Juhas was getting better and better last season. And this is a big loss for this team because, again, if you guys didn't see how she was getting on, like she was playing like big minutes in the playoffs last year. She was playing big minutes in the playoffs. Like she was putting up, I know she started a lot more games in her rookie year, but it was on a bad team. She was putting up 5 points per game in 16 minutes per game, which is really good stats for a backup. Especially backing up a player as good as Alana Smith. And she's coming off an unbelievable year overseas. Like Dorka Juhas I'm pretty sure she was all EuroLeague second team. And there have been plenty of like very high level players that played in EuroLeague, especially at that big position. And I thought she was going to be on track to being one of the top backup bigs in the W. To be fair, Jessica Shepard coming in is an upgrade. It is an upgrade. But things become really interesting for the Minnesota Lynx now with Dorka Juhas gone, because they have to make a choice. They have to make a choice when it comes to cutting players, whether they want to go with 12 or want to go with 11. So, the Minnesota Lynx right now, after losing Juhas, have got, as far as I'm aware, they have 13 players left. Like, Aubrey Griffin obviously is not going to be on the team. But they have 13 players left. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. So they have 13 players. And they can only, if they want to go out with 12, they have to cut one of Elisa Peely or Grace Berger. They're going to have to cut one or the other. And for me, I'm taking the 5'11 point guard over the 5'11 center. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. I'm taking the 5'11 point guard over the 5'11 center. That's just my opinion. And there's like, a year difference in age. And in fairness, both of them were high first round picks. But they can go with 11. If they would have to cut Badian and Kosu, which I don't see them doing that, because they can't just cut Kosu and go 12, or they can't cut Badian and go 12, because I think Anastasia Kosu is like, she's one of those players, she's 19, or she just turned 20 actually. She could be a really high level player in 3 years. She's not ready now. I think everybody knew she wasn't ready right now. Like, a lot of people, including myself, wanted the Fever to get her so that the Fever could stash her. And if the Fever stashed her, it would have been all good because, it wouldn't have made too much of a difference because she wasn't beyond the team. She can go back, play overseas somewhere other than Russia, and she could ball out there and work on her game. However, Badian's the best of all of them. Like, Badian is a high-level pro. What age is she now? She is a 30-year-old high-level pro who's going to come in and help this team. Can shoot the ball, can play the 4, can play the 5, and she can be a really nice backup. A really, really nice backup. Because Diamond Miller is starting to look really good in preseason. But, and obviously you're not getting rid of Jessica Shepard. But for me, it's probably going to be between Peely and Grace Berger. And I don't know which one they're going to take. Because, like, neither of them, well, not even neither of them. Graceberger might serve a purpose because they do have the highest paid backup point guard in the WNBA in Tisha Heidemann. They have Mariah Jefferson is. They have the second highest paid backup point guard in the WNBA in Heidemann. So for Graceberger, there's not going to be too many minutes. The backup shooting guard is Carly Samuelson, so there's not going to be too many minutes. But the backup point guard or power forward is Badian and Jessica Shepard. The two of them are kind of backup 4-5s to Alana Smith because they can all kind of play with each other in the way their system is. So Peely's going to be on end of the bench as well. And I don't know, I'm taking a 5'11 guard over a 5'11 big any day. Like, I don't understand why. And I mean, if the Fever let Graceberger go, if the Lynx let Graceberger go, Indiana, she's better than Colson. But the Dorka Juhas thing makes things a little bit easier for them. If Dorka Juhas was actually in the squad, there's a 0% chance that what's her name? That Lisa Peely makes a squad. Peely's a replacement for Maisha Hines-Allen. I'm pretty sure Jessica Shepard is a replacement for Maisha Hines-Allen, who's 100 times better than Lisa Peely. Like, Peely cannot guard anybody. She can shoot the three. She can't really rebound. She can't guard. Like, you might as well throw Carly Samuelson at center or at power forward. You might as well. Because at least there's like something that she'll bring. But it's between one of the two of them, between Berger and Lisa Peely, because they're not going to get rid of Badian. And they're definitely not going to want to just allow Anastasia Kosu go wherever she wants. Because if Anastasia Kosu has like, not all-star potential, but she has like Gabby Williams potential. If she develops some sort of a three ball, which she wasn't really allowed to shoot overseas, she has Gabby Williams potential. And it's hard to find Gabby Williams, to be honest. Fever front office sucks. Badian fits perfectly. The Fever front office did not go to... they didn't go overseas at all. They didn't look overseas at all. Like, I think Janelle Salone would have been a great pickup. Or even over Natasha Howard. Like, Badian over Natasha Howard might have been the move. But, like, they went with proven commodities. They didn't take any risks. They were so risk averse. And I always found that a little bit weird because I'm like, you're like, you can win this year, but like, this isn't considered your year. You should probably try to be a little bit less risk averse, but they were extremely risk averse. Like, I liked the Dwana Bonner pickup. And the Natasha Howard pickup. In fairness, Natasha Howard is much better than Alyssa Smith. They're the same player, but she's much better. Like, Natasha Howard looked okay defensively. She's rebounded well. She's athletic. In fairness, she can score more of those moves than Alyssa Smith. Is she a black hole? 100%. 100% we are looking at her as a black hole. But at the end of the day, like, she can still get buckets. She can still put the ball in the basket, which is half the work if we're being honest. Like, there's a lot of tough things that like that Natasha Howard does, and she's a really good tough shot maker. And in fairness, Alyssa Smith's a good tough shot maker too, just not to the level of Natasha Howard. She's not as fast, she's not as sharp, she's not as good on defense, even though Natasha Howard's not as good as she used to be. It's going to be a really interesting one. But, yeah, the Fever thing in Europe doesn't exist. I mean, it's something. But for the Lynx, Dorka Juhas, it's weird. Like, I actually don't know how much Dorka Juhas would have played with Jessica Shepard. But, like, if Dorka Juhas comes back, like, with the season that she had overseas and how well she's playing in EuroLeague, like, you are looking at Dorka Juhas as somebody that might come in maybe a year, 2 years, and be the eventual replacement for Alana Smith. That is the level that she's at. But the thing is, Alana Smith's not like old either. Like, Alana Smith, she's my age, isn't she? I'm pretty sure she's my age. Yeah, she is like 2 weeks older than me. So, she's not that old. You guys might think I'm old, but, you know, not that old. And then Dorka Juhas obviously is a really good player there, but It's mad when it comes to the WNBA how much talent there is and how few spots there are, because Juhas is a really, really good player. And even if she tried to go back to the Lynx, it would be hard to see her getting much of a rotation spot because of who they picked up in Jessica Shepard, or getting Jessica Shepard back. Either way, though, like an absolutely huge loss for the Lynx, and especially if one of their players goes down, this can make a big difference. But have the Fever decided their last pick yet? The Fever have not decided their last... Have they? No. I just saw a notification. I was like, surely they've decided to cut somebody. No, not yet. Dorka U.S. defecting to Yukon. I mean, she was on that Yukon team with Lou. Good old Lou Lopez Seneschal. But, I have to say it, lads. The Chicago Sky, they look good. Like, this is a really, really good roster. And I don't care what anyone says. It's not like Chicago. Like, they finalized their team. So obviously neither of these are playing this year. Aisha Sivka is staying overseas. But their final roster 12 is there. Maddie Westbell being their 12th. They are really, really solid. Like, their depth is going to kill teams. They are going to win a lot of regular season games because of depth. I think they're a first round and out. But for me, they are way better than the Wings. They are way better than the Sparks. I think they're way better than both of these teams. They literally they have so much depth. It is not even funny. Like Hailey Van Lith, I gotta give her credit where credit's due. What Hailey Van Lith has managed to do, she is proving why she was a first round pick. She well and truly is showing that she was a deserved first round pick. That everyone's saying she's going to be a second, third round pick was crazy. And that the LSU year was not the real Hailey Van Lith. It was the other 4 years that mattered. And like, I thought she was going to go 7 to Connecticut. I think Connecticut are probably, after just seeing what Hailey Van Lith's doing, are probably like, damn, we could have taken her. Pow Pow greater than Hailey. No, Pow Pow is legit too. Like, Pow Pow falling to 18. I think Pow Pow was always where she went. Like, when they drafted, I had Pow Pow potentially not making a roster. I thought Pow Pow was going to go to, like, a Minnesota, and I was like, I don't think she's going to make the roster. But then Minnesota traded the 11th pick and all that stuff. But the Chicago Sky drafted probably as well as they could have. Again, could Pow Pow be better than Van Lith? Yeah, but they've both been really good so far. But Ariel Atkins has not done anything in preseason. With how good Ariel Atkins was last season and the year before, I would assume she's going to become a key player. The only thing with Ariel Atkins is that she sucked, absolutely stunk up EuroLeague for Fenerbahce by her standards. She sucked in Turkey, and that genuinely might be a thing that continues on. She might still struggle. Like, genuinely struggle coming into the season. But they looked okay even without Courtney Vandersloot. Just because that combo's looking good. Like, look, I would not be surprised to see Angel Reese for the season go down to 10.5 and 11 rebounds per game. But that assist per game go up to 3-4. Like, that would not surprise me. Because Angel playing as like his point forward, she's not there yet. She's nowhere near there yet. She's going to have probably more bad games than good trying to play point forward. But there are flashes. There are flashes. And this is a team that's not going to win anytime soon. So you would rather have the team play to the flashes rather than... The best this team can do is probably 6th seed and first round now. You don't want the players only playing their strengths and not trying to get better long term just to try for short term gain. So I think Tyler Marsh is looking to be the real deal as a coach. But to be fair, I rated Teresa Weatherspoon last year. And to be honest, Teresa Weatherspoon did one thing really well. Teresa Weatherspoon was really good at creating this like us against the world mentality, and she always took her players' side and everything. And there were a lot of good things with Teresa Weatherspoon as a person. It's not very good basketball coaching. And obviously, I was like, oh, she was able to get Kennedy Carter working. Turns out that was to the detriment of the team. But Beck Allen is one of the best bench players in the WNBA. Like, Beck Allen started over Sophie Cunningham for Phoenix. And this is what people don't realize, how good Beck Allen is. She started over Sophie Cunningham. Kia Nurse is a former All-Star who, when she heats up, can be incredible. Wnba was really good as a starter last year. Hailey Van Lit's a solid backup player. And Elizabeth Williams might be the literal best player off the bench in the entire WNBA. That's how good Elizabeth Williams is. Most underrated player in the WNBA, probably Elizabeth Williams. Actually, no, sorry, Leonie Fiebich. But Elizabeth Williams is right there. And the Chicago Sky have the most... They might have the best bench in the WNBA. They might. They genuinely might. They are so scary. Like, obviously, look, Maddie Westbell's not going to see the floor. But they don't have... And Mariah Jefferson's not very good. They have 10 good players. Like, Rachel Banham is a flamethrower. Like, she can come in and hit 6 threes in a row. Again, she can give you bad games. But she is a flamethrower. Courtney Vandersloot can still set up a play as well as anybody. Wnba is an elite bench wing. Beck Allen is one of the best bench wings in the league. Cardoso, the problem is their starters are only fine. They might have the 9th, 10th best starting 5 in WNBA, but the number 1 best bench. Like, everybody's talking about the Liberty. The Liberty have Maureen Johannes, and the Liberty have Niara Sabally on their bench. That's it. Like, I don't know. The Liberty have very little else. The only thing is that if the Liberty did bring over Carrera, if the Liberty brought over Fateau, if the Liberty brought over everybody that they have overseas, then fair enough. But, like, Markeisha Davis, Rebecca Gardner, Izzy Harrison, Kennedy Burke, and Maureen Johannes, and Niara, obviously. Like, that's not like anything. That's not anything crazy, but it's solid. The only team that might be able to compete with the bench of the Sky in terms of depth, I'm trying to think what teams could compete. The Lynx, maybe? Because the Lynx have Badian, Carly Samuelson, Heidemann, Diamond Miller, and Jessica Shepard on their bench. So the Lynx can probably compete with them depth-wise, but the Fever can't compete with them depth-wise. The Fever starting 5 is way better, and I'm still predicting the Fever to win. I'm predicting the Fever to go either 4-1 or 3-2. The Sky, they're not going to 5-0 sweep the Sky, but their depth is scary. And the depth is what's going to carry you through the regular season. Like, if the Sky, let's just say Angel Reese goes down from injury. Last year, Bree Turner's got to come in. This year, it's you move Beck Allen to the starting 5. A starter for a good Phoenix team last year. A starter for a really good Connecticut Sun team 2 years ago. Like, a player that was good enough that they put her in the trade for Jonquel Jones. She just comes in. If Ariel Atkins gets hurt, okay, cool. You move Kia Nurse to the 2 and you bring in Beck Allen. If Sloot gets hurt, you can run Hailey Van Lith for a little bit. Or you can start Mariah Jefferson, who can just kind of run the show, which might work. Rachel Banham might end up starting a few games. Like, if anyone gets hurt, if Cardoso gets hurt, you bring in Elizabeth Williams. They don't lose much from their starters to their bench. They really don't. They really, really don't lose much at all, starters and bench. And again, do they have the highest ceiling in the world because of their starting five? No. I will say that. They do not have the highest ceiling in the world by any means. But when you have this type of depth, you're going to at least be solid. It was like the Mystics last year. Once the Mystics got healthy, the Mystics starting five sucked last year. And even though they started the year like 0-11 because our whole team was injured, they went above 500 the rest of the year from just pure depth. And this team has a slightly better starting five than last year's Mystics. And probably a worse bench, but a better starting five. Yeah, I can see them going in and around 500. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them beating the Phoenix Mercury. I wouldn't be surprised to see them finishing ahead of the, maybe even the Storm. Maybe the Storm, if I'm being honest. Maybe the Storm. But, yeah, did any of you guys see last night the Valkyries play? Did any of you see the Valkyries? They just won a massive game. They won their first game. And they beat the Phoenix Mercury. And someone in the comments says, have I seen the Storm's lineup? Man, the Storm have the exact same starting lineup as last year, except they replaced Jewel Lloyd with Alicia Clark. And no Jordan Horston. But, man, Satu, in fairness, Satu went off offensively, but where did Satu get the name the Unicorn from? Satu Sabali is a worse defender than Caitlin Clark. Where did she get the Unicorn from? And I said that. To be fair, I did say it when I was breaking down Satu. I was like, Satu would be a great player for the Fever to get. But isn't the perfect thing, but she's an upgrade in Alyssa Smith. I'm not going to say she's an Alyssa Smith on defense. I'm not going to go that far. But Satu is not much better. Genuinely not much better. Alyssa Thomas running the show again. And starting five in the Mercury are good. But the Mercury are such a weird team. You don't know what's going to happen with them. You genuinely don't. Obviously, Maddie Westbell's sister is killing it in preseason. She's going to make the team. If she doesn't make it, I would be shocked. I would be shocked in general. But for the one player that I'm thinking has actually got a shot of being the Rookie of the Year conversation is Cole McCanny. Because one, doesn't have to go to Eurobasket. Two, she's 5'11" guard and probably going to start. And then again, I don't know what the story is with Laxa. Is she even going to come over? What country is Laxa playing in? Because I know Latvia aren't very good. Latvia are barely better than Ireland. So her country's barely better than Ireland. So there's no way they made Eurobasket. Who's she playing for this year? She's playing in Italy. Is that season not finished? I could have swore the Italian season finished. Did I say Satu was underrated? I said when people were saying Satu sucked, but she's offensively a fantastic player. She's one of the top offensive players in the W. No question about that. There's a reason why she commanded so much. Top four, Fever, Liberty, Aces, Dream. Thank you so much for $10. But the Lynx. I have the Lynx as number one. The Lynx are my favorites to win. Oh, yeah. The Lynx is gonna. My prediction is to repeat. Is it Lynx to Liberty again, barring injury? But for the Golden State Valkyries, they looked real good. They looked real good. They are going to be such a fun team to watch. Again, Carla Late's not. She's still a year younger than every single rookie. She would still be too young to be in a draft if she was American. She's still a year younger than the rookies. She looked good. But Torre. We have what's it, Mamanyan? Mamanyan Torre? But Torre is, oh my god. If you guys didn't see what she was doing, she just couldn't miss. She could not miss. And she's in the game early as well. She's in the game early. And if you just look at the end of the game, she goes and hits a She sizes up and hits a pull-up shot to put them up 5 with 2 minutes to go. And they get back into it. She then hits a spin layup to put them up 7. And then they get it back to 2. Van Loo hits her in the corner and she hits the 3. Like, this was just a clutch performance. And the fact that she might get cut after that. She might actually get cut after that. Which is crazy. And yeah, only 57 likes. We can get to 100. We can get to 100 likes by the end of the stream, surely. But she was unbelievable. Like, if you're looking at the Valkyries team, Caitlin Chen is going to be cut. Bibi's going to be cut. Kanane's going to be cut. Jacite is not coming over. I don't know what story is with Xander Lassini and Steph Talbot. If Xander Lassini's waiting until after Eurobasket, I don't know. Janelle Salone is coming over. She's going to make the team. Kate Martin's going to make the team. So, like, this is an expansion team who has no stars. The best player on this team is Tiffany Hayes, who is shooting who's shooting 10% in preseason. Like, she shot 1 for 11. It's not like she was any better in the first game. Like, my Tiffany Hayes All-Star prediction is looking awful. It's looking absolutely awful. But this team has got, again, they've got a stupid amount of depth considering how badly they did in the expansion, or how they couldn't get any like high-level players in the expansion draft. They 100% just went overseas. They went overseas, and they're going to hold their ground. They literally just got some of the most underrated players you can find. They're like, okay, yeah, you know what? We're going to take Dallas. Were dumb and protected Tierra McCown. So you want to know what we're going to do? We're going to take their first-round pick from last year, who's killing it in France, and had 25 points in the Euro Cup final. And, like, I'm going to be honest. Like, when it comes to Carla Late, she is 21. You need to be 22 to enter the WNBA draft. She is a year younger than, like, most of the people that are in the draft. She's, like, 2.5 years younger than Paige Bueckers. So, she is young, and she's already shown that she's fine. Like, all she has to do is be competent this year. And, like, had she been in college, and she was in next year's draft, we would be talking about, if she had decided to go to college, we would be talking about Carla Late in the number 1 pick conversations with those other guards. They got her in the expansion draft. Janelle Salone is the same age as Paige Bueckers, coming off an all EuroLeague season. Had she gone through the collegiate system, she would be in the conversations for number 2 probably in this year's draft. She is like, what, a few weeks younger than or older than Paige? She's younger than Hailey Van Lith. If she was in this year's draft instead of going and playing pro, she would have been in the conversations for the number 2 pick. I still don't think she would have been over Paige, but I still think she probably, her and Malonga, like, she's way better than Malonga right now. Obviously, Malonga's got all the potential in the world. But if she went up through the college system, she's in the conversation. And you got Kate Martin. Obviously, Kate Martin's is Kate Martin. Like, Maria Conde, she got tore Achilles. But people don't understand how good Maria Conde is. Like, again, WNBA level player. I don't know if Kiara Linskins makes the team. But Kiara Linskins, I don't know if she has the athleticism. But she's looked good. She's looked okay. She's looked like an effective big. She's looked effective. And they managed to get her. She's a really good passing big. She can look high-low. She can score the ball a little bit. And you see 2 assists in this game. She can fit into a system. Torre is shooting the lights out. Julie Van Loo's fantastic. Like, Julie Van Loo is one of the best passers in the WNBA. Like, Veronica Burton, fine. Temi was a good pickup. Monique Billings is solid. Like, they have a whole bunch of, like, solid pieces. And they built out their depth by just getting undervalued players. And European players have been extremely undervalued, not because of their ability, because of whether or not they're going to come over. And it turns out they're all coming over this year because they know the CBA is going to spike very soon. They want a part of that money. They know that they're going to make a fortune playing in the WNBA soon, which is why the Europeans are starting to come over now, whereas they may not have done that previously. So, yeah, the Valkyries, what they did was perfect. What they did was absolutely perfect. And speaking of the Valkyries, Do we not, like, there is one player that the Valkyries didn't even let play a preseason game. Didn't even let her play a preseason game. And all I'm going to say is, I get it. I get it. Cheyenne Sellers played the worst game of basketball in the history of basketball. Like, Cheyenne Sellers had one of the worst preseason games I think I've ever seen a couple of days back. She genuinely looked like she didn't know how to play basketball. She looked like she forgot how to play a sport of basketball. Like, she caught the ball at one stage. Oh, wide open, does this. Nearly falls over herself. Like, her first possession, she dribbles down the floor, goes behind the back, misses her left hand, just dribbles ball straight behind the back into her opponent's hand. She, like, passed out a shot, then she took a dumb shot. I think she turned the ball over 2 or 3 times. She got cooked on the defensive end. They had her playing center at one stage. They had her guarding Bree Turner because she couldn't guard anybody else. Like, and everybody was there trying to, like, the amount, by the way, calling her every name under the sun. Where is she? Oh, I would have thought the coach would have been on a page somewhere, but, Natalie, Nakase. Like, everyone, was calling her everything. Like, was calling her every name under the sun for getting rid of Cheyenne Sellers. For, not letting her play a preseason game. And being like, oh, it wasn't about talent. Turns out that, the people that are actually there might know a little bit more than people that are not even, than people that are not even watching or people that barely watch her in college, realistically. Because I like Cheyenne Sellers. And I genuinely was, like, shocked when she fell to 17. I was so shocked when she fell to 17. Obviously, teams knew what they were getting. Teams knew what she was going to give them. Teams knew what she was going to give them. Teams knew that she just wasn't she wasn't good enough. And I'd be shocked if she gets picked up. Keyboard warriors don't know everything. And there are sometimes, you know what? Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. But, like, more often than not, the people that are in the teams know more than the L keyboard warriors. But there is sometimes the L keyboard warriors do know best. But she should rehab, yeah. But I don't know if it's just her knee. I don't know if the reason why she's not playing is because of her knee. And the fact that they've come out and said her family's come out and said she's healthy. She shouldn't have been cut. That she's going to prove everyone wrong. She's healthy. Means it might not be her knees. Like, she struggled to keep up with the pace of Chicago's guy, the Fever's bench. She struggled with the pace of the Fever's bench. And have you guys watched how fast the Valkyries play? The Valkyries are going to genuinely go 10. The Valkyries could go 12 deep. Like, let's just say Kate Martin's back, Salon's back, Talbot and Zandelsini. These are all back. They get rid of Kanane, Chen, Bibby, and keep Linskins and keep Torrey. With all those players, there's not one slow player on this team. You have got point guards in Late, Van Loo that can run the pick and roll, that want to run the floor. You've got Letitia Amaher, who likes to run the floor. Tiffany Hayes likes to run. Temi likes to run. Monique Billings likes to run. So you've got this team that likes to run, and you've got this point guard who has a history with knee injuries, and it wasn't even her knee that looked bad. Whatever about confidence, like, her confidence was completely shot. Like, her handle looked all over the place. Genuinely. Her handle did not look good at all. But, yeah, it's a, Salon will have a spot reserved because I heard she's coming over way before Eurobasket. Yeah, she's probably coming over. I'm guessing her and Lax are in the Italian league. But Sellers might go down as just a complete... This might go down as a complete, like, correct evaluation from the WNBA. And if I'm Natalie Nakase, I am thinking, oh, damn, why did we not take Te-Hina Paopao? Like, it's not like Paopao is this absolutely unbelievable player, but Paopao is going to be a WNBA player. If I'm her, I'm thinking, why did we not just take Paopao? At the same time, they have so many guards. Like, Torres a wing, Van Loo late, Burton are all realistically 1-2s. Well, these two are Van Loo late are definitely 1s, and I think Tiffany Hayes is technically starting to 1. They're playing her there, but like they have, like look at the amount of assists they had as a team. They're a passing team, and I don't know. I think she either needs to rehab or just go overseas for a year. Just go overseas for a year. And there's no shame in going overseas. Especially, and I mean this, and I think it should be a more common thing in the NBA. Like, players are going to, a lot of players, if they're kind of out of the NBA and they just chill in the G League for 5-6 years, you are going to be more likely to get back on a roster playing overseas. You're going to get better and you're going to make a hell of a lot more money. The only thing is that if you're overseas, you're not going to be able to sign a 10-day contract, and if you think that's going to be your way into the league. But, like, if I was her, I'd go play in Mexico with Kennedy Carter, but have it in your contract that you have a WNBA out, that you can leave whenever you want for a WNBA team. Have something like that in your contract. But right now, Cheyenne Sellers, it was between her and Paopao for a spot in that team. Her and Paopao are competing for one spot on the Atlanta Dream. She's not going to, absolutely not going to be on making another team this year. She's not making the Dream anyway, and she might be waiting for a hardship contract. Someone might sign her to a hardship, but like, you have to show something to sign a hardship. Like, at least Celeste Taylor showed. Like, Celeste Taylor realistically got her hardship contract because the Mercury were playing the Fever that night and they wanted to scout. Realistically, that's probably why she got signed. But she did well and she stuck with it. She stuck. But, yeah, they got Paopao instead of getting Sellers and nothing. They actually got Paopao and Sellers. But, yeah, it is a very interesting one. Saying you can find star players in the second round. I mean, I wouldn't call Paopao or Timpson stars yet, but like, yeah, Alana Smith was a second round pick. Emma Mason was a second round pick. Like, Dejanay was a second round pick. I'm trying to think who else was second round. Sophie Cunningham was second round pick. Like, there are really good players you can get in the second round. And then, like, there's, like, Lauren, am I right in saying, was Lauren Cox? No, the Fever drafted Lauren Cox, didn't they? Charlie Collier was a first round pick. Was the first, not even first round, was the first pick. The Fever, I think, drafted Lauren Cox one year, didn't they? Yeah, with a third pick over. To be fair, Kennedy Carter wouldn't have been a great pick either, but it went Sabrina Satu, then Lauren Cox. But yeah, it's the draft, just like the NBA draft, is a complete crapshoot. But yeah, it is what it is. But Sellers, hopefully she bounces back, but I don't see her being on a roster game 1 of the season. Wasn't Grace Berger second pick? No, Grace Berger was almost a lottery pick. She was like 7. But I'm gonna be honest. What were Dallas thinking? What were Dallas thinking? Genuinely, what were they thinking? Why did they not protect Carla Late? Like, she's came out with the Valkyries and is hooping. She's hooping right now. I'm just like, what was the logic to it? Like, why didn't they keep her? Like, I understand whatever. Oh, you know, we have Paige Bueckers as our point guard. Run her as a backup. You could have found a way to flip. Oh Jesus, I've blanked on her name. Played point guard last year for the Sun to flip Ty Harris. Like, they could have found a way to flip Ty Harris into a really good contract. They could have found a way to flip Ty Harris and had Carla Late backing up Paige Bueckers as the one. And Carla Late instantly becoming an elite player. And by the way, Paige Bueckers, born 2001. Carla Late, born 2004. She's got Julie Van Loo as a mentor. She's like mini Julie Van Loo. And like Carla Late this season, she won Euro Cup. She scored 25 points in the final of Euro Cup. She scored 25 in the final of Euro Cup. Like, what are we? Why? Like, how did the Dallas Wings let her go? And like, look who the Dallas Wings kept. The Dallas Wings, obviously, they kept Satu. They kept... I'm saying, who was on the Dallas Wings roster last year? Wings 2024 roster. I need to just remember who was on that roster. So, they obviously protected Arike. They protected Satu. They protected Segrist. That's 3. They must have protected Kalani Brown. Or maybe JC Sheldon 4. Uzin they didn't protect. Lou, no. Suarez, they cut her. Kalani Brown and Tiara McCown. Yeah, they must have protected Kalani Brown and Tiara McCown. Or maybe they just protected Tiara McCown. Either way, they protected Tiara McCown over her. Or Kalani Brown. Either of them, I don't care. Tiara McCown's not... Why? Tiara McCown can't see the floor against a good team. She can't be on the floor. There's talk about starting Alyssa Smith at centre. That is how bad Tiara McCown is. And they gave up instead one of the best young point guards in the world. They gave up one of the best young point guards in the world. Van Loo speaks 4 languages. Van Loo also raps, if you didn't know. But, they gave up one of the top young point guards in the world for Tiara McCown. Like, she's there. She's a 5'9". She's not that short. Point guard who can score from deep. Who can kind of do a bit of everything. She can run the show. Oh, sorry, it's her against Maureen Johannes. As a kid. As a freaking kid. Carla Late there. 4-point play yesterday. Like, 57-59, fourth quarter. 4-point play. 11 points for her. Like, and again, you forgot. She turned 21 like a month ago. She's not even... Like, if she was American, she would be a junior in high school, in college. She's the same age as... I'm trying to think. What good guards are there the same age as her? What's her name from Kiki Rice? She's the same age as Kiki Rice. She's so much better than Kiki Rice. And imagine if you had Kiki Rice, it's like, oh, we're going to keep her. Why were these teams so dumb about not protecting Europeans? And actually, sorry, I know why they were so dumb about not protecting Europeans. They literally did not protect them all because they knew a lot of them were going to be free agents in 2026 and they assumed they were all going to play in Eurobasket. But half of them aren't playing in Eurobasket. That's the thing. They literally got rid of these players. And not only that, you had her for 4 years on a rookie deal. You had her for a 4-year rookie deal and you chose Tiara McCown over her. You chose the worst contract in the WNBA over one of the best young point guards in the world who you are going to have in a rookie deal through 4 years in the best contract in the WNBA, which is a 2025 rookie deal. And because she was a first-round pick, it's a 4-year rookie deal. You had one of the best young point guards. You had the best backup starting point guard combo in Paige Bueckers and Late. Best young guard combination. And not only that, the two of them could play together in the future. The two of them could play together. If they were still doing well, if Late was killing it and Paige was killing it and you said, you know what, we're going to core and trade Arike and we're going to build around that team, the team's probably better. But now you're stuck with the team you have. Yes, Ty Harris is a fantastic backup point guard, but you could have gotten someone a lot better than Tiara McCown for Ty Harris. Like, you could have found a way to work all that out and traded Ty Harris for a proper starting center that isn't Tiara McCown. And you could have had Carla Lake coming off the bench instead of Ty Harris and had her and Paige as this young backcourt duo. And I understand, yeah, okay, you need to have an older guard somewhere. If Paige Bueckers is as good as people say she is, Arike could be a good enough vet for the two of them. Like, it's not like Arike's young. Arike's my age. It is, the Valkyries have swindled so many teams. And you want to know what people also don't understand with the Valkyries? Maria Conde tore her Achilles. If she comes back healthy, she is a starting level WNBA player. Kiara Linskins is a solid backup player. Janelle Salone is younger than Hailey Van Lith. If she was in this year's draft, had she gone to college, she's a top 5 pick. Chechi Zanasini, solid. They also have Ileana Rupert coming over at some stage. Not signed this year. Ileana Rupert was the best player on a Mersin team that had Tierra McCowan, that had Natasha Howard, that had Carly Samuelson, and Bridget Carlton. 3 starters, 3 WNBA starters, 2 starters on top 3 teams, and Carly Samuelson, who's one of the better bench players in the W. Ileana Rupert was better than all of them. All of them. And they just fleeced teams. They fleeced teams because they knew that they're not going to protect the player that might go to Eurobasket. So all they did was they just fleeced teams in this expansion draft. They fleeced teams. And then when teams didn't have Europeans that they could take or anyone good like the Storm, they just said, nah, we're just going to take nobody. We don't care. We don't care. Everyone thought they were going to take all these young players. They got Julie Van Loo, who is a player that is going to play with high energy, who is going to be fun to watch, and the fans are going to be really hyped every time she plays, who's going to keep the fans there, and is going to be a vet for a Carla Lake. Kate Martin's going to put butts in seats. Salone's good. And then they've Jacite coming over next year. They have a 6'1" point guard prodigy coming over next year. Like, the Dallas Wings, and whatever about any of the other ones, why did the Dallas Wings give up? Why did they give up Carla Lake? Why did they give up Carla Lake for Tierra McCowan? By the end of the season, Tierra McCowan is going to be end of the bench. She's not going to play. She's not going to play. They are contemplating starting Nalissa Smith at the 5. We've seen Nalissa Smith minutes at the 5. We've seen what it's done. It's not pretty. It is not pretty. Nalissa Smith, sometimes the 4, when she wants to lock in on defense, can be a not worse defender in WNBA, but just a bad defender. We've seen Nalissa Smith do good things sometimes at the 4. Nalissa Smith minutes the 5 never end well. They're contemplating starting Nalissa Smith at the 5 for Tierra McCowan. And you kept Tierra McCowan instead of one of the best young guards in the world, who is just turned 21, who is 2.5 years younger than Paige, who is 3 years younger than Hailey Van Lith, and is going out there and taking over late in a game with 11 points in 13 minutes. As a just turned 21-year-old, who again, 3 years younger than Hailey Van Lith against the Mercury. Like, you gave up that player. You gave up that player for Tierra McCowan. I understand she's 6'7". I don't care. She can't guard anybody. The only times Tierra McCowan ever looked good was when she was coming up against Aaliyah Boston last year. Because Aaliyah Boston can't guard anyone who's taller than her. But yeah, that's it. Carla's still developing though. Tierra McCowan sucks. I don't care. Is Tierra McCowan developing her speed or something? Is she developing wings so that she can get more than 1 inch off the ground? The problem with Lucy Olsen is that she's not good enough to be a shot creator at the W. She's not good enough to become a high volume shot creator, and she doesn't look like a 1. So, that would be, I will actually talk about that one. I'm going to talk about that, and I would love for Lucy Olsen to make the Mystics team. I don't see it happening. I'm going to talk about it now. Like, Tierra McCown's unbelievable in college. She was like all defensive in college. She is Alyssa Smith bad in defense in WNBA. But yeah, so we've got Lucy Olsen right here, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about the unfortunate reality with Lucy Olsen today. To say Lucy Olsen is not going to be a WNBA player, I don't know if I can say that, but I don't know if she makes if she even makes the Washington Mystics lineup, and I'm gonna explain why Lucy Olsen is maybe gonna struggle initially until she finds a team that has her kind of running the show playing her at the right way for her. So Lucy Olsen is a combo guard. She is a combo guard, but she is a 1. The problem is that she has to have the ball in her hands, but she can't shoot the 3. She has to play on the ball. And until she develops that 3-point shot, she has to become a player that dominates the ball. And I don't know if she's able to do that right now. I would have loved to have seen her playing point guard minutes. Like, I would have absolutely loved to have seen her play some point guard minutes for the Mystics. The thing is, if we're watching, there were times where Zay Green was taking the ball up instead of her. Sydney Johnson has absolutely zero, not need, even want to run Lucy Olsen as a point guard. Like, she needs to work on her ball handling. She hasn't turned the ball over yet due to her handling. I don't mind. I think she's a functional handle more than a flashy handle. I've always said this, like, if somebody has a functional handle, I'm all for it. I would rather someone have a functional handle than a flashy handle. But the problem is that she has not played with her head up. So for me, I'm watching her play and I'm watching Van Lith play. And coming into this, I would have considered them both very good players. Like, everyone was saying Van Lith was a 2, and I'm like, no, she's a 1. She is a 1, but she is a dribble, get into her spot, can hit the pull-up, or can kick to a shooter. The difference is, if you're watching Hailey Van Lith playing with Chicago Sky, she plays with her head up. There's a big difference. Is that she is playing with her head up. She is looking, there are better players for her, than her. She's looking for players. She's looking for her own little bit. And like what Hailey Van Lith did to start off, is that she started off facilitating. And then now that it seems like Tyler Marsh has a bit more trust in her, she's getting more meaningful minutes. And yes, it is preseason, but she looks to have cemented herself as the backup for Courtney Vandersloot. And I don't know how many minutes she's going to play, but you can see that she's controlling the game. The only problem with Van Lith is that she overdribbles. Is that she sometimes takes 10 dribbles to get from point A to point B, and that point A to point B might be 5 meters. Sometimes she takes 10 dribbles. That's the only issue with Hailey Van Lith. But Hailey Van Lith is able to get a defender on her hip. She's able to draw in a bit of help. She's able to get that step on a defender. And Lucy Olsen's able to do the same. The difference is that they get to their spots, and no matter what, Lucy Olsen's pulling up. Lucy Olsen is pulling up no matter what once she gets to her spot. Whereas for Van Lith, especially now, she's looking for her own probably less than she should be. She's being a little bit less selfish, but as a backup in the WNBA, backup guard, there are players on your team that are established WNBA players. Even with a bench lineup for the Sky, there's Elizabeth Williams, there's Beck Allen. So she's looking for other players. She's looking almost pass first, and after a couple of passes, after a little bit of time finding her way into the game, then she's starting to take her shots. Lucy Olsen's coming in and gunning. She is coming in and gunning. And I don't know if she's good enough to come in and gun at the WNBA level. Like, Lucy's a shooter, you're not seeing her shoot. Lucy Olsen has shot the ball on average of 7 times per game. Like, she is shooting per minute more than Caitlin Clark. But, like, the problem with Lucy Olsen is she just can't shoot threes. She needs the ball in her hands, and she's not good enough right now to have the ball in her hands at the WNBA level. And I was really disappointed with I think maybe she's been told to go look for hers, but I think there's a reason they brought in Lauren Jensen. I just think that I thought in Iowa she looked very good when she was passing. But if you look back on her in Iowa, I watched a few clips of her, a lot of her assists. What she is actually pretty good at is driving in and dumping down to bigs. Whereas in the WNBA, you're not going to have Hayden and Stokey inside. You're going to have kind of shooters around. And she's not drawing the coverage either. She's not able to draw that second defender. Everyone knows she's pulling up. So they're guarding the pull-up. They're not expecting her to go to the basket. Whereas in Iowa, she was just better than everyone. Weaker defenders, she was able to pull up and hit that shot. I don't think Lucy Olsen is going to, be never in the WNBA. I don't see Lucy Olsen making a rotation this year. And I thought she looked okay against Indiana. I thought she looked okay. And the only thing that I like about Lucy Olsen is the only thing I liked about the second game is she's fearless. She's absolutely fearless. And she was on she was on with some really, really bad teams. So I'm not going to blame her for that. But, she was fearless. And for that reason, I can see her being picked up. Or I can see her either being on the Mystics roster, getting DNPs for half the year, and then a few players getting injured, and her having a couple of big games. Or I can see her getting cut and nobody picking her up. And then later on in the year signing a hardship contract. Because there's not that much of a market for a volume shooting mid-range scorer. There's not. And not only that, if you're going to be a volume mid-range scorer, you have to be one of the top volume mid-range scorers in the league. There are not, you got to be Courtney Williams. If you want a rotation spot as a volume mid-range scorer, you realistically have to be Courtney Williams. And she's just not good enough at this point in time. And I do think that over the years, or in future years, she could be okay. She'll find, someone said it about expansion teams, 100%. I could see her making an expansion team next year. And with the way the WNBA is, you can always make a roster late. You can always go play overseas for a couple of years and kill it overseas and come back. That is something that Lucy Olsen has. She has time, and she's a legit pro. If you put Lucy Olsen in Turkey, she could go and she could drop 20. She can go and call her own number. She can put the ball in the basket. It's just with her style of play, and we saw zero facilitating. Other than one lob past Kiki, we saw zero facilitating in those two games. And for her to make a WNBA roster and be an active positive on a WNBA roster, actively a positive player, and not just there because they had the contract money and she was a 12th player. For her to make a WNBA roster, she has to be a really, at least an above average facilitator, because she's not good enough. Again, someone said Kennedy Carter. She's not Kennedy Carter. She's not Courtney Williams. And she does not shoot the three ball well enough. Not only that, she's a terrible off the dribble 3-point shooter. So she's not, so she's one dimensional when she's coming off that screen or she's driving to the basket. She's trying to get to her spot. And the problem is with a lot of, if you know anything about basketball with a lot of pull up mid range shooters, you can watch it. And if you watch just how they attack their spots, they look at their spot. So most pull up mid range shooters, you'll see it at every level. They will look at their spot. And they get to their spot, they rise up. It does not matter if there's a hand in their face. So a lot of the time you don't see the pull-up mid-range shooters being facilitators. Yes, the likes of Chris Paul and stuff are exceptions. But most of the time, the pull-up mid-range shooters aren't a lot of time they're not facilitators. And it's really hard to be a pull-up mid-range shooter, being able to get your spot, focus on where you're getting to, focus on rising up, and being taking that shot while also thinking, okay, am I going to pass? And I don't think at this point in time, Lucy Olsen's a good enough defender. She's not a bad defender. She's not a good enough defender to be a locked-in defender. Not a good enough facilitator to run the one. And not a good enough pull-up mid-range shooter that you are going to actively put the ball in her hands and say, you take us home. So I think she will be a WNBA player. Don't think it's going to be this year. And even if she makes the Mystics roster, which is a very good chance she does, even if they don't cut her, I can't see her playing much. Thought she was a good enough passer at Iowa this season. There's big difference between passing to Hannah Stuckey on a roll every single time and being a WNBA level passer. Big difference. And there's a big difference as well as being a okay passer and a good enough passer to play at that level. The problem is that like she has to be, to play her style. The only people that play her style in the WNBA really are like Kennedy Carter, and don't think Lucy Olsen's that bad, but the coach and environment team makes a big difference. I don't know what team she would fit in on though. I don't. Like, if you would give me a team that she would like actively fit in on, I genuinely don't. I have absolutely no idea if there's a team where I think Lucy Olsen would be in a rotation for. But yeah, her and Grace Berger are similar. Grace Berger is better than Lucy Olsen. Grace is better by a decent amount. I don't think it's particularly close. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. Do I have any more topics? Are there any more topics to talk about? Anyone got any ideas? Could Sydney Colson get Lucy? Lucy Olsen is the last player the Fever need. Like she might be the last player the Fever need. I'd rather give up a second round pick to the Liberty for the rights to Fatou and get her after Eurobasket. Did we address Grace Berger today? She might get cut, so yeah. We did actually. It's between her and Lisa Peely. One of those two is getting cut. Sophie's ankle. Ugh. She fits the team as a true point guard. Lucy's a slashing shooting guard. I do think Lucy will develop behind Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is not there to be a vet. She's not there to be a vet for anyone. But I also don't think she's better than Michaela Timpson. So the Russian is making the squad. I would assume she is. They'd be idiots to get rid of her. They were idiots to bring her over in the first place. But now they'd be even bigger idiots to get rid of her. But, yeah, is there any more topics? Any more topics? Anything more to talk about? Anything more? If there is, you sure I'm making a video about it? I think Reed might have been trolling everyone with that one. We should get Grace Berger. Can't think yet. Only problem with Indiana is the staff is not a good development coach for younger players. I think there's not enough evidence to say that. I think she did a pretty good job with Indiana a decade ago. Missed the discussion about Colson. What discussion about Colson? She's just not good enough. Reese will be gone after the third season. That is a crazy statement to make. That is a crazy, crazy statement to make. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She is a top 30 player in the league, and that's being as conservative as possible. Lucy and Caitlin Clark could be a starting backcourt together. I don't know if there is a shooting guard that would be a worse person to put beside Caitlin Clark than Lucy Olsen. I genuinely don't know if there is a player that would be a worse. Lucy Olsen's not good enough to be a 2 in the WNBA. So if she's going to make it at this point in time, if she's going to make it, she's going to have to play the 1. She's not good enough to be a 2. Doesn't shoot the 3 ball well enough. And I talked about Temi in the last game. I watched a bit of it. Like, more so, I was more so impressed with Carla Late, Van Loo, and Torre. But, yeah. I might just end it there. Might end the stream there. Hour and 25 minutes. Temi didn't look good. It's preseason. But yeah, we are going to end the stream right there. Chicago needs to run through Cardoso. I think they are running through Cardoso. There's a reason why going into the fourth quarter, Angel Reese had 3 points and no rebounds. But anyway, I'll see you.